We know the government-backed central bank digital currencies in our timeline is coming soon. Probably not going to last too long, I would assume, if they even make it to the forefront. But what's the main monetary system that you guys use in your time?
We use something similar and I'm here in Houston and we still use the dollar, but we don't use it as often. It's more of a backup. And we utilize via exchange of trade services for the most part. Mm-hmm. And then there are some people beginning to utilize, I don't know what you would call this in your time, but it's an electrical system where people have, and so many people don't want to do this. This didn't take hold the way that governments thought that it would. They thought we would just eat this up. But my parents said, don't ever do it. So I didn't do it and my children aren't doing it. But there's this system, and it's not like having a credit card or a debit card, but it's like you have a number, and it's a 6-digit number, and it's equated with you. It's in connection to your Social Security number in the United States, and a lot of people have one global bank system, so all of the monies are digital. But there's only about, say, 35% of the population that took hold of it. No one really wanted to do it. And the rest of people use either digital currencies. We have another third of the population that use, I guess you would call this, it's similar to a cryptocurrency for what you would know of it now, but we call it something else. And it's become digital, but not governmentally backed. So this is run by smaller state-based, what would you call it in your time? You used to have credit unions. Mm-hmm. So it's something like that, except more secure and ran by individual towns and provinces and states, but it's not governmental. And this is something that was created by a new political platform that only recently came into existence within the past 10 years. So I'm telling you something else. You got out of the dual party system in the United States.
I was going to say, I didn't see that lasting too much longer. I would assume that would take itself out.
I was so thankful as a 20-year-old when I could see the beginnings of that collapse.
Yeah, that's been a lot of, the problems we have in the world are because of that. So I think people are figuring that one out and trying to move in other directions. I hope. I don't know. I never bought into the two-party system, but interesting. And how did people physically this transition into taking charge of their own health? There's a lot of worry in our time right now with the all the toxins being spilled. We're having sort of this strange anomaly of trains derailing, chemical plants getting blown up, and food sources being contaminated almost intentionally. How does that play out in your timeline?
It worsens, unfortunately. What we would recommend on our team is for you to build different homes that are, we do this now because our air quality is not exceptional. So we've had to begin to build homes that are closer to water-based systems so that we can hold and acclimate and store water. We can retain water from those systems. And we can also cleanse our water by working with air particulates. So we have the same things that science is discovering probably about right now, if I remember accurately in your time frame. They're studying certain algae components combined with charcoal to purify your water. Well, there's something similar that can purify your air, and it's also an algae of sorts. So this is going to be interesting. If you can keep up with the water systems, you can utilize that as well to clean your air and to pull that into your central air system. So we have central air systems, much like you do, except that it's infused with certain filtrations that utilize this unique algae that cleanse the air. And we do this so that we can have really pure oxygen at all times. Luckily, we still have plenty of trees. So people are really worried about the desecration of the forests and things, but we still have clean oxygen. It's just that a lot of the chemical spills and a lot of the things that you don't know of that are incorporating a lot of disasters naturally in your world. A lot of these things are going to have to be filtrated out pretty soon. I'd say those scientists started building those systems around year 2043.
Okay. And I would assume with the toxicity in the agriculture as well, we would figure out better ways to mass produce food without the toxicity.
We don't. We didn't. But we do in our time. You
Right.
did what
We
you
did.
did instead. You came together in intentional community systems, and there were different farmers coming over to build these systems. And some of them are doing it a little bit now in unique type of hydroponic systems, but it's beyond that. There are systems of shelving gardens. There are different systems of that you begin to incorporate in your own properties. And a lot of people begin gardening for themselves and then sharing in co-ops with their cities, and it goes bigger. It goes into various states and provinces beyond that as well. So it's that you become the farmers. You're no longer depending upon these mass farmers that produce to grocery stores, et cetera. That changes relatively fast, beginning in, let me go back, it was year 2055 when that began to finally set in.
We still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Mark has his hand up. I'll get to you in just a second, Mark. I want to ask one question because it is related to some downloads I've been getting around different types of free energy devices or energy devices that can, say, heat a home indefinitely without having to be tied to a grid system. I would assume these devices are going to be coming out in the next couple of years.
They're called resonance systems. We have them now. They're crystalline energy based, coming from a source of plasma, and then with wrapped copper as a transmitting device.
Like a Nikola Tesla type of device.
Very similar, except add more plasma. That's something that he didn't get a chance to do before his untimely death. We've done deep research in it. And it's going to become reincorporated, and someone's already working on that now, thankfully. We're very grateful.
And is this information going to be able to get to the masses, or do we have to fight
absolutely
it?
Oh no,
Okay.
absolutely, because a lot of, say, what this channel is doing, a lot of people become more scientific remote viewers, and they contact different beings from the past and the future. When spirituality is just understood as science, it becomes a different ballgame for what we can create together. So it's people such as yourself and everyone here that work together to create this. It's a normal person, a normal scientist who has, his own field of research. Granted, he gets fired from that field of research, as you would suspect, but he's a pretty normal person who believes in this realm without considering it woo-woo, as this channel often puts it.
Right.